What's up everybody, my name is Dwight and welcome back to GeForce Garage. So far, we've shown you how to mod two very different types of PC cases. First, we took on the Red Harbinger crossdesk, which was absolutely nuts. Then we showed you how to transform the classic Antec 900 case inside and out. This time, we're gonna show you how to build a completely custom case of your own design. We brought award-winning modders and GeForce Garage veterans together to design and create this one-of-a-kind GeForce Garage scratch build. It puts the heart of our gaming rig, the GPU, front and center, but also shows off some of the advanced modding techniques that we haven't covered yet. We're going to help you through every part of the process, from creating an original wireframe design and metal fabrication and finishing, hydro dipping to print images on a three-dimensional surface, GPU modding, and even bending acrylic tubing throughout the whole PC. Our guest today is Brian Carter of Bods-Mods. Brian took our initial concept and sketches and developed a 3D model that we're going to be using as a blueprint for our case. Now he's going to show us how he did it. So what is SketchUp and why are we using it?
SketchUp is a really easy to use 3D modeling program, and the best thing, it's free for non-commercial use. It's a good place to start for pre-visualizing any project you want to do. When you want to do any measuring to get the idea of size, to put components in.
So you have like models of the actual size that they are in real life that you can just plug in?
Yeah, there's a place online you can download any PC component that's great for sizing your project if you're building a scratch build PC like we're doing.
Okay.
So basically we started with a simple profile. You can just draw using the pencil, and then it has a really cool extrusion tool called push-pull, and you just click on it and draw it out however long you want it, and it can go either way. So we went with 18 inches wide by 9 inches deep by 20 inches tall. So basically that's really all we had to do to get the basic shape. In order to import the components, there's a 3D warehouse. All the users, they build the components and then they upload it to this community site. There's literally thousands of models that you can download for free. Motherboards, video cards, power supplies, any of the components that you need, you can download it. So you can just click on download. Okay. So we'll just go ahead and load it right into our model, and it's right there.
Wow.
So we can just,
that easy, huh?
Yeah, so we can position it wherever we want. And you actually can mouse over some of these target marks, and it actually brings up the rotation tool. So you can move stuff left, right, up, down,
and
it'll stay level. And so if we needed to move this around, we could rotate it, and it shows the angle down in the corner.
So you know that it's at 90 now.
Yeah, because we're going to mount it vertically like that, and then we're going to use a riser cable to connect it to the motherboard.
Nice.
And we're going to be using 2 video cards, so I'm going to duplicate it. You can just hit Control, adds a plus. So once you click it, it just adds another one right next to it. And we're going to offset that. So this is the configuration we're going to have for the video cards. Huh. So for the motherboard, I think we'll be using Asus Rampage 5. So if the 3D warehouse doesn't have the exact model, find something that's the same size. So let's go ahead and download that, and we'll go right into our model. The motherboard we downloaded isn't to scale. As you can see, it's quite a bit larger than what it's supposed to be. So right now it is 19 inches tall, and standard ATX motherboards are 12 inches.
Okay.
The scaling tool works in percentage, so we don't know what that is, so we're going to have to get a visual aid here by adding a dimension line. You just click to begin the dimension line wherever you want, click it again, and then you can draw the actual line out so you can see where it is.
So our motherboard is now, it's a foot, 7 inches and a quarter?
Right. Okay. So we're going to need to scale that down, and we just select it, hit the S tool, and as we scale it, we have a visual display of exactly how much we need to scale it down. And just zoom in a little bit to get it right to, so now it is correct size. So basically what we need to do is just angle it to match our angle here. So right now the axes are the blue, green, and red lines right here at the corner. So if we go up to axes, we can change that by clicking the origin point and then 2 of the lines. And then that changes the orientation of the axes to the angle that we want.
So that's the angle that we want the motherboard to lay?
Right.
Okay.
So basically we can take this now and change that. It should, if you look at the number there, you get
angle's
0.
Actually 0.
As we go to that angle, it zeroes out. So that should be exactly the same angle as the case. So we can just move it up to that point to position it. And as we move it, it constrains to that the axes as well. So that's real nice. So we need to just move it in. So that looks like it's a little bit farther out from the base. I think we're going to mount the 2 res off to the side, so we'll leave a little bit of space for that. And we can center up the hardware onto the case. So now we're getting an idea of scale and how big our case is going to be. You can see the components right there.
Good to help kind of center and give you an idea of how much space you're going to actually have on either side of your hardware.
Yeah. So knowing the materials that we're going to be using to build this 16th inch steel sheet, I think I want to show what the thickness of the metal is going to be. So in order to do that, we'll have to re-extrude it using the offset tool. So let me get rid of this back line, and we'll select this front line that we had before, and we'll use the offset tool, and we're going to set it to 1/16 inch thickness. So basically it makes a copy of that profile and shrinks it down or expands it depending on which way you go with the offset. So now all we have to do is close the ends. Mouse over the edge and then bring it out. It actually gives you that distance automatically. So now that fills in. So now we can just use the push-pull and bring it out. Over out to the edge, and we still have our previous lines there, so you can use that to just bounce to. Yeah. There we go.
Okay.
So now we have a little bit more accurate representation of the metal that we'll be using. Yeah. The next thing we're going to be doing is cutting a hole in this vertical lower part for the radiator. And so I've gone ahead and I measured out from the center and gotten my edge lines for the hole. So I just click on the rectangular tool there and snaps to the guideline. The dimensions for the hole is going to be 14 by 4.5, and it creates a separate shape in the center, which we can now select and just delete it.
Okay.
Since we have thickness, it only did this front part. We want the hole to go all the way through. We're gonna do a push-pull on it as well and bring it back to that other edge.
Does it matter for something that you're gonna be deleting anyways?
Well, if I get it right on that face, it automatically deletes it for me. Yeah.
Okay.
So there we go. Now we have a hole in our panel. So for the side piece, we wanted to do a blue acrylic accent piece. That's the same shape. So that's really easy to do. First of all, I'm going to select just the edge and we're going to group it. Before it was all separate shapes, and if we added another piece or drew something that intersected with those pieces, it would become an integral part of that. We don't want that.
Gotcha.
And so if we group this, I can add parts to that and keep everything separate. To do that, we're going to draw this shape again, and we're just gonna use that existing piece as a guide.
Right, because you can just use the pencil tool directly on this now because it's grouped?
Right. It's creating a separate shape. Once I close that, there's this separate shape right there. And that's a separate piece from this. So if we were to move this out of the way, you can see it's its own entity now. So with this side piece, we're just going to extrude it to, I believe it's 1/4 inch for the acrylic. So we'll just do a push-pull. I mean, you can go out however long you want, but we'll just do 1/4 inch. Okay. We have that piece, but we're going to group that. So now we have that as a separate entity, and then we'll duplicate it so that we can make it the other side as well. And we're just going to click on Move, and we'll grab it by this corner because that's the corner we're going to line up on the other side. Okay. So we'll hit the duplicate, and just move it over, and it snaps right to that corner.
Huh. Easy.
Yeah. So then we're going to have a cover plate on the outside edge of the acrylic that's going to be metal. So we're going to duplicate this again on both sides. So we'll just hit the Move tool plus and just bring that over, and then use the push-pull to bring that down to, we'll do -3/16 because we started with a 1/4 inch. So that leaves us with 1/16.
Okay.
And there we go, there's our other panel. So now we can take that and duplicate that back to the other side.
Okay.
So we made these panels on both sides, so now let's add some texture. We want to make the inner acrylic piece blue. So we're basically just going to choose a material from the pull down here, and there's a wide variety of different textures and materials you can choose from. But for this blue acrylic, we're just going to choose a opaque blue color. And we can just go right over here and just click on it. Since it's in a group, we could just click and all the panels, everything turns that color. So we can go over to this side and select that and do the same thing. And I just picked that one instead, which is fine. We're going to change that to a metal texture. Not entirely sure what we're going to end up having as a final color for this case. I'll leave that up to the builder, but for now we'll just do a dark gray for the sides, and then we'll also color the case. And then we're going to do some lighter aluminum accent panels on the front and the sides. Okay. For the fan grill and the motherboard tray. I think that will be pretty cool.
Looks cool.
We can bring those components back in, and we'll place those and see how it looks. You know, in SketchUp, you're really not limited to the detail and how specific you can go. I mean, you can literally put in every little screw, but it gets to a point where you just have to build it.
Yeah.
And a lot of that changes as you go through the build process. So it's just a starting point. Gotcha. And it really gives you an idea as a whole of what it will look like in the end. So we have all of the parts roughly in the place that we want. The first step in lining out your tubes is, first of all, you have to have your components in the place that you want. So you have your inlets and outlets on all your parts. And what I've done here, I've gone ahead and drawn a basic rough line, which is going to be your path for your tubing. And then what we're going to do is we're going to follow that line with a shape. In this case, it's going to be just a circle. So basically, we're going to take the center point. I've created a circle here, and it's right in the center of this fitting. And I've gone straight out with the line, and then straight up, and then across as far over to the top of the reservoir, and across here to the center line of the plug right here. So that's our path is going to be for the tube. So we're just going to go up to the Follow Me tool, and if we click on the image and then drag over the line, it will start with the following position. But of course,
got a 90-degree
got
turn.
a 90-degree turn there. So what we want to do is add a corner bevel, and this is where this arc tool comes in. I think we want like a 3/4 inch radius. Draw a pencil point to mark that line.
So it snaps to it?
So it snaps to it. So we're gonna do the same on this side. So now when we go do the arc, it will snap to that, and you know exactly where that is. So then you click there, and you get the pink tangent line, double click, and it creates the arc for you. And then you can just delete those. So now you have a nice curve coming out, which will simulate the tubing bend coming out of the CPU block. And so all these 90-degree turns, we're going to need to do that.
It's a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. I thought that would have been the most difficult part of this, but
as long as you have that path where you want it to go, and all the lines are connected and everything, it will follow that line pretty nicely.
It's nice.
And there we go. And then if you wanted to make it a transparent, clear acrylic or whatever.
A glass right there.
There we go.
Oh, there you go.
So the only thing about transparent is that
you see the line that's in the middle.
So we can go back in and take out the path line. And then just unhide the last. So there's your first run.
Awesome.
So yeah, with all the tubing lines done and the accent pieces added, I think all that's pretty much left is to build it.
All right, let's do it.
All right, let's get to it. Get to the garage.
And hey, be sure to subscribe because in the next video we're going to be doing some metal fabrication. It's going to be pretty cool. Until then, thanks for watching GeForce Garage, the ultimate resource center for designing, building, and customizing your GeForce GTX PC.